Greetings and peace. I hope you and yours are doing well today, wherever you might be watching this from. Now, the title of today's video will be The Masonic Story of Kingdom Hearts, which is a video game series developed by Disney and Square Enix. And it has something that I have grown up with, and I've seen a lot of its esoteric and spiritual teachings as I've started walking the path of Sufism and Freemasonry about protecting your heart, about the bonds of friendship and love, about light and darkness. So I wanted to make something on the subject today, on to relating Kingdom Hearts to those elements, as we see that aspect of good triumphing over evil in many of Disney's stories and plots, and that's what ultimately what the story of the Freemasonry is as well, of good always winning and the light always triumphing. So back in fifth grade, I started playing the first Kingdom Hearts. That's when it had came out, like I believe 2002 on the PlayStation 2, and I loved it. I loved the whole story with Sora and Riku, and then meeting Donald and Goofy and how they formed a brotherhood right away. When Sora was in the beginning, Sora's on Destiny Island, and he has a bond with Kairi and Riku, and how they just have this brotherhood and sisterhood amongst one another. And then there comes a time when chaos and disorder plagues their land, and Sora ends up on a distant land. And when he ends up on a distant land, he finds friends amongst all of the strangers that are there, and even friends of other species like Donald and Goofy. And as soon as they meet, they all meet together on the level, and they form a bond right away. And an example I found was a Mason who goes to a distant land, and there are brothers waiting to welcome him to aid him in his life and in his quest. That's the similarity I found with Donald, Goofy, Mickey meeting with Sora and the rest of the crew. And as their journey went along, they went from one world to another, one realm to another, helping people, guiding people. And the ultimate story that it was telling you, it even shows you in The Lord of the Rings, with everyone having a fellowship with one another, is that our greatest gift in life and our greatest wealth that we carry are the friends and the beings that are connected to our hearts, and the aspect of the memories we create with one another. That is the greatest benefit that you will get out of anything. And it shows you even in the first Kingdom Hearts is that those whose intention is bad, or those who are inviting darkness into their lives, when they did that, that's when the heartless creatures would pop up around them, because it was the person's evil intent that was guiding those forces to them. So what that was teaching you is that you are the maker of your own reality. So if your internal temple is showing a frequency of love, surrender, being good, divinely guided, then that's the reality that you will project. If you're in a state of hate, ignorance, envy, jealousy, hatred, then that's the reality and beings and forces that you will attract. And that's what it shows you as the story goes on, with going to the different worlds, aspect of justice and the good, and protecting your hearts. And the aspect of protecting your heart is important because our hearts right now are being very desensitized towards each other, towards ourselves, through the violence we see in entertainment, through the division we see in society. And this is perpetuated by the agents of chaos. And the agents of chaos are those that are the forces of darkness that exist in all races, religions, countries, and groups of the world. Just like how you have good people that exist in all races, religions, and groups of the world. So it's not about which race or which religion, it's about good and evil. That's what it comes down to. And we must always side on the aspect of good, because good is always destined to win. And as you see in the end of the third Kingdom Hearts game, is that the one that was perpetuating all of the evil schemes throughout the trilogy, even he knew that the good would end up beating me, but he was just seeing how much he could get away with before that inevitable moment occurred. And we see that at the end of the first Kingdom Hearts is that the aspect of light always overcoming, and also the aspect of darkness as well, because the beings that profess darkness also believed that they were in the right. And this shows in the current path that we're on is that extremity of any side is not beneficial to you. You have to walk in the middle, walk the middle path. And as we see, those that are of any extremity of any side, they always came up with a loss. So good cannot exist without evil, evil cannot exist without good. Smith cannot exist without Neo, the Joker cannot exist without Batman, and vice versa. So we, in that aspect of order out of chaos, and for the Mason to balance himself, his lower nature, upper nature, feminine, masculine, all the aspects of divinity, you become the perfect Ashlar and the perfect master when you master that between you. That's another thing Kingdom Hearts is teaching you, is you must make that balance in between. That's what will help you. Find the balance and know how to operate within those circles. And moving on to the second Kingdom Hearts game, it's the same. You have Twilight Town and the memories that we share with these different beings, parallel realities, with Roxas being Sora's parallel half, and how when all these realities converge together, everything is one. Everything is indeed one. And that's what I tell people. It's only one race, the human race. There's only one religion that believes in a higher power that loves us, guides us, and protects us, and also gives us trials and tribulations so we can grow and become better as a species. So everything is one. And this is the aspect of Sufism that I would like to add, is one of the 99 names of God is Al-Ahad. Al-Ahad means one. Me, you, the air, the grass, the trees. It's all connected to that one supreme source where all life originates from. And that's what is shown to you. And, you know, even in the Masonic path, whether you're Christian, Jewish, Muslim, white, black, it's all love and respect, because it's all one united body and one brotherhood. And we see the aspect of Sora's stories as well, how he's basically one being with Roxas, and all those other beings are connected with each other through the different Twilight Towns, and how as time goes on, they had the same aspect of the same journey about going to these different lands and helping their friends. And when their friends call out for help, they go and help them. And the aspect of honoring your word, honoring your brotherhood, honoring your fellowship, and just honoring your epitome of being a good character individual. All of those values are exemplified in the Kingdom Hearts for the 1 and the 2. And as we go into the third one, you will see how even after being through everything, Sora then comes into a form of doubt, where he starts doubting his abilities, because the elements of darkness or the agents of chaos will try to get under his skin and tell him, you're not worthy enough, you're not this, you're not that, because they knew who he was. And that signifies the aspect of the spiritual warfare we might face in this reality, where you might be on the correct path, but there might be somebody to come and get under your skin, or there might be a handler sent your way. So you must be able to identify all these things. And a lot of the Holy Scriptures tell you too is that wear the armor of God so you can protect yourself against the schemes of the devil. Because when you're walking the path of the righteousness, whether it's the Mason, the Muslim, the Sufi, the spiritual person, whatever have you, you will have elements from your past, present, and future, and things and beings around you that will test you to the utmost ability to see if you are who you really say you are. So they will test your patience, your anger, your emotions, and you must be able to, and they'll try to put doubt under you, so you must be able to keep yourself, stay focused, give yourself affirmations, and surrender to the divine. And when you surrender to the divine and you give your heart to the divine, like how a Mason always puts his faith in God, then everything will work out for you, because what is destined for you cannot escape from you. And as we see that, in our own reality, is that even with all the doubt and suspicion they try to put in Sora's heart, where he was doubting himself and who he was and his abilities in the third one, eventually it backfired on those that did that to him, as he was the one that saved all of his friends and defeated all of the foes that stood before him. And it shows you the power of those that are connected to our hearts, and the love that we share amongst one another, and those who have intentions of their own or intentions that do not serve the highest good of anyone. they are usually the ones that suffer the most, because this life is an illusion. It's a dream-like realm. I don't take anything seriously in this life because I know this is a spiritual school that I was sent here to guide humanity, to aid humanity. And when my time is up, I go back to the source where I originally exist. This is a suit I'm wearing, my physical avatar for this current lifetime, and that's my job. I just came here to help my brotherhood, help my family, help the human family, and teach everyone the aspect of unity and love and kindness and generosity to yourself, to your neighbor, to your fellow man. Just like how we see in Kingdom Hearts with Sora, who would go to these different worlds and they would all be connected to this one heart, the heart with the wings that flies around it, and that's what helps us soar our hearts to these higher realms. And the aspect of protecting your heart is, don't let these agents of chaos come in and let them divide you, and let them divide you as a country, or let them divide you as a people on the aspects of race, religion, stances on different subjects, because that's their job. The forces of darkness, humanity is their greatest enemy, and their job is to destroy you. And they will destroy you through deception. Those who fall into the traps of selling out for fame and fortune, they get tricked by the forces of darkness, because sometimes it's too good to be true. They go for it, and then at the end up, they're finding out they were deceived by the greatest deceivers themselves. So you must be the one that is perpetuating the light, because the light is the source that is destined to win. Yes, you have other elements there as well, but if you profess for the goodness in your heart and you don't do anybody wrong, then there's no one that can take anything away from you. I am someone that has been through a lot of trials and tribulations in my life, but in my heart, I never hurt anybody. I always tried to honor those that came before me to the best of my ability. I was able to stay quiet, be humble, and learn from others. Then I had an opportunity where I could teach others, those that needed to hear something from me, and I was there to guide them. And this is the journey that we're in. And what we see in Kingdom Hearts and on the Masonic path is that you must be able to surrender your heart, protect your hearts from those that want to shatter it and control it, and also be in unison with the love that Sora shared with Donald and Goofy and Mickey and Kairi and Riku, and how Riku himself, the brotherhood that he shared for Sora, that he was protecting him in these different elements of in the realms of darkness to protect Sora. He would put his life on the line many times, and that's the aspect of the love between the brothers and the Masonic comparison, about how without any benefit or reward to one's own kin, you would do everything you can to aid somebody without expecting anything in return, just to see them happy, because their growth and their happiness is also your growth and happiness. And I thank the creators of Kingdom Hearts, who have put a lot of these esoteric teachings into these games, even though it might seem like a kid's game, but it's more to it than that. It's about these aspects of all becoming one, all these realities becoming one, protecting your hearts, brotherhood, light winning over evil, and the aspect that we're all walking each other home. This is a short life that we have, and if this was my last message and I go to sleep and I don't wake up, I realize what good did I do for myself and others with the short time that I was given. And that is my greatest reward. It's not about what college I went to, how much money I have, or what kind of car or home I have. That doesn't mean anything. That's only for here, and this is temporary. I'm working for both sides, because as above, so below. The reality you create here will be the reality you create in the higher realms when it's time for you to ascend. So that's our job, is to become better here, so we move on to the higher realms. Like in the Norse mythology, right? They say we're in Midgard right now. So this is Midgard, and there's 7 realms above, 7 realms below, and depending on your actions, you either evolve or you devolve. So if we're lucky enough to be in the middle, then we should not be in any hatred of one another and focus on love and choose love and not fear, and help us get to the higher realms, as the aspect of Kingdom Hearts shows us too, when Sora goes to the end of the world and he finds this beautiful place where it's nothing but peace and serenity. Nothing else exists. And that's the ultimate goal and unison that we should be aiming towards, is achieving that love, light, brotherhood, and happiness, being there for others when they need help and guiding them when they need to be guided, and the aspects of protecting our hearts, not being divided by the forces of darkness, not letting them destroy us, and to know that good is always destined to win. And the goodness of Sora's heart ultimately made him a victor over foes that were 10 times more powerful than him. But ultimately, it was his bond of brotherhood and friendship that saved him in the end, and his heart. So realize this. Sometimes we think in our lives that we're alone, but we're never alone. There are always beings and people that care about us, that love us, that pray for us. And it's through their conviction and love that they send our ways that we keep going. And that is the beauty, my friends who are watching this, is as the rest of 2021 comes around, think about Sora and his story in Kingdom Hearts, and how love ultimately triumphs over darkness and fear and evil. And anytime you see anything where it causes separation of any kind, know that anything that causes separation or disunity is ungodly, and you need to be mindful of that. So always choose love, not fear, and take Sora's example of love, light, brotherhood, and happiness. I send my love and regards to you and yours for the rest of January and 2021 ahead. And if you get a chance, play the Kingdom Hearts games again and pay attention to the whole story, so you'll be able to pick up on those elements about the divine masculine with Sora and Riku, and the divine feminine with Kairi, the bonds of brotherhood between the different species and worlds and memories and hearts. It's all very relative to the world that we're living in today. So thank you again for watching, and I hope you were able to get something from it. And my love and light to you and yours always. Thank you. Yes, another thing I wanted to add was everyone in Kingdom Hearts is looking for the door to open Kingdom Hearts. And sometimes in life we go through everything, trying to find the answers to life, trying to find God, trying to find ourselves, not knowing all of those answers were inside of us the whole time. Now, if you look at it from a religious point of view, you'll have in the book of Luke, it'll say in the Holy Bible that the kingdom of heaven is within your heart. So the kingdom of hearts is within your heart, which links you to all beings all over the universe and all beings of creation, to the Creator, all the way up to that source. And if you look at the Holy Quran, Surah 50, it'll tell you that Almighty God is closer to us than our jugular vein. And the aspect of Sufism and Freemasonry is about trusting your heart and to be right in the heart first before you can do anything else. I tried to find myself, but I only found God. I tried to find God, but only found myself. The aspect of knowing thyself. When Neo goes to the Oracle, she doesn't tell him anything. She points to the sign that says know thyself and tells him you already know what you need to do. It's in your heart. You just haven't decided to act upon it, but you already know what you want and how you want to do it. So the Kingdom of Hearts, or Kingdom Hearts, is basically finding that heart and peace within our own selves. That's where you open the door, is within your heart. And when they open that door, and you saw in the video game it symbolized when they open the door, it symbolizes light winning over the darkness, and the burst of light and love just coming in and destroying all of the evil and darkness that was there, harming them. So find that within your own self. You must find it on your own. Anyone can walk any path that they want to in their life, have all the degrees, titles, you name it. But if they choose not to unlock the key, use the keyblade, and unlock the key to their hearts, then they won't really get it, you could say. There's only few that actually get it, even those that walk in esoteric circles. Truly, there's a few people that understand that we're all one and we're all connected. It's not about your God, my God, your race, my race, your religion, my religion, your country, my country. It's all one big heart, the kingdom of hearts that watches over all of us. So find that door and unlock the keyhole with your keyblade, which is your heart and mind and soul connected to unlock that light of door within yourself. So it's just something I wanted to add. Thank you.